Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh and hello everyone. Today we are from group 4. We will present to you about our firm Siki Rahim. First of all, the overview of Siki Rahim. Starting from a small brooch business in a night market in Klang Valley in 1991, Siki Rahim now has grown into more than 10 outlets all around Malaysia. Its headquarters is located at Jalan Tuanku Abdul Rahman, Kuala Lumpur. Initially, Siki Rahim only supply brooches, but throughout their development, they also have ventured in the scarves market and other women's apparel such as socks and hand socks, and they have attracted customers from various places such as Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Brunei, Indonesia, and some Europe countries. The founder of Siki Rahim, Mr. Abdul Rahim Ismail, is a former geography teacher in SMK Taman Maluri. In 2001, he decided to end his profession as a teacher and start focusing on his business. The history behind the word Siki in Siki Rahim is to commemorate his memories as a teacher, as the word Siki means cikgu in Malay. Now, retail and wholesale businesses are operated full-time with his beloved wife, Mrs. Arifah Yahaya. Last but not least, Siki Rahim is popular with their lower prices compared to the market price, but most importantly, they still give the best quality for their valuable customers.
The market structure for Siki Rahim's firm is perfect competition. So, the definition of perfect competition is a theoretical market structure in which of the following criteria are met. All firms sell an identical product. The product is commodity or homogeneous. All firms are price takers, which is they cannot influence the market price of their product. Market share has no influence on price. Buyers have complete or perfect information in the past, present and future about the product being sold, and the prices charged by each firm. Resources such as labor are perfectly mobile and firms can enter or exit the market without cost. An economist named Mrs. John Robinson said that the perfect competition prevails when the demand for the output of each producer is perfectly elastic. While Kenneth E. Boulding said that a perfect competition market may be defined as a large number of buyers and sellers all engaged in the purchase and sale of identically similar commodities, who are in close contact with one another and who buy and sell freely among themselves. So the characteristics of perfect competition is, firstly, large numbers of buyers and sellers, that none of them individually is in a position to influence the price and output of the industry as a whole. There is no individual firm or consumer controlling the market. This is because there is such a large number of producers and consumers that the contribution of an individual seems negligible. The significance of this characteristic is that in the large crowd of buyers and sellers, no individual buyer and seller can control the demand and supply respectively. Second characteristic is homogeneous product. Homogeneity of the product ensures that every firm produces products that are identical in all respects, for example, shape, sizes, colors, etc. Each firm should produce and sell a homogeneous product so that no buyer has any preference for the product of any individual seller over others. If goods will be homogeneous, this further ensures uniformity in prices. Next, free entry and exit. There are no barriers to their entry and exit. There are no abnormal profits and losses in the long run. Abnormal losses refer to the shortage of earnings over the total production cost. Abnormal profits refer to the excess of earnings over the total production cost. In the long run, if any abnormal profit occurs, new firms are lured into the production scene. This further leads to an increase in supply which reduces the price. This continues until profits are restored back to normal. In short run, firms can incur abnormal losses or profits as in a short period of time a firm cannot exit or enter the market. Next is perfect knowledge. Buyers and sellers possess perfect knowledge. This implies that no firm can charge a different price and no buyer is willing to pay a higher price for the same commodity. Sellers are completely aware of the prices prevailing in the market. Sellers are completely informed of the price of inputs. Each seller has access to a similar state of technology and inputs, as a result of which they have same cost structures. This implies that uniform prices prevail. The next characteristics of perfect competition is absence of price control. There should be complete openness in buying and selling of goods. Here, prices are liable to change freely in response to demand and supply conditions. Governments play a vital role in market formation for products by imposing regulation and price controls. They can control entry and exit of firms into a market by setting up rules to function in the market. The entry and exit of firms in such a market is unregulated, and these frees them up to spend on labor and capital assets without restrictions and adjust their input in relation to market demands. Next, no selling cost. Firms try to create a sense of difference among each other by advertising their products. The cost incurred in advertisements is known as selling costs. The products from all firms are completely identical and the buyers are completely informed about these products and their prices, which is uniform. Thus, there are no selling costs in a perfectly competitive market. Next is one price of commodity. There is no individual buyer and seller can control the demand and supply respectively, so that the price of a commodity is determined by the market forces and demand and supply. This uniform price prevails in the market and all transactions occur at this price. The next characteristic is absence of transport cost. In having less or negligible transport costs will help complete market in maintaining uniformity in price. In this type of market, companies do not incur significant costs to transport. Then there is a perfect mobility. Goods should be free to move to those places where they can fetch the highest price. Land, labor, capital can be switched in response to changing market conditions, prices, and incentives.
Next, I will explain about the production cost curves and revenue curve. Okay, first of all, the short run marginal cost MC curve will at first decline and then will go up at some point and will intersect the average total cost and average variable cost curves at their minimum points. Okay, next, the average variable cost AVC curve will go down but will not be as steep as the marginal cost and then go up. This will not go up as fast as the marginal cost curve. The average fixed cost AFC curve will decline as additional units are produced and continue to decline. And lastly, the average total cost ATC curve initially will decline as fixed costs are spread over a larger number of units, but will go up as marginal costs increase due to the law of diminishing returns. Okay, next I will explain about revenue curve. Firstly, in a perfectly competitive market, total revenue TR is a diagonal straight line passing through the origin. Market demand and supply determine the price and each firm is a price taker. Thus, average revenue is constant and we can see that average revenue is actually marginal revenue at the prevailing market price. Next, the total revenue curve for a firm in a perfectly competitive market is an upward sloping because the price or AR remains constant and MR is also equal to AR. TR can only be influenced by changing the amount of output sold as the price remains constant. So the increase in TR is in the same proportion as the increase in the output sold. And lastly, the curve passes through the origin, which means that irrespective of what the price level is, if the output sold is 0, TR will also be 0.
Let's move to the pricing strategy to maximize profit. which are cut price at certain time, sale for clearance stock, and wholesale price. The first pricing strategy is cut price at certain time. CK Rahim can do a discount at a certain time, such as year-end sale during the end of the year. For example, CK Rahim can do a combo price such as 3 scarves, which cost 50 ringgit each for only 40 ringgit. This will attract customers to buy promotion items, especially when there are advertisements with huge posters all over the shop showing this offer, as it can help customers to save money. Next, sale for clearance stock is one of the pricing strategy. As we know, some items can be outdated by time. Therefore, not many people will be interested to buy these items anymore, which could end up being a waste and could give a firm huge loss. So, to clear the stock, CK Rahim can do a sale for the old items by selling them at the lowest price. This will attract more customers to buy them even though the items are no longer a trend in society. For example, CK Rahim can sell old designs of small brooches for 10 ringgit per 15 pieces, even though they used to be 10 ringgit per 10 pieces. This will ensure that all items are being sold and CK Rahim do not face losses. The last pricing strategy is to make a wholesale price. Wholesale price can make easy for retailers. For example, retailers can get a pair of hand socks for only 6 ringgit and 50 cents if they buy 20 pairs of hand socks at CK Rahim instead of its normal price 8 ringgit per pair. So, if CK Rahim do this wholesale price, it will increase the number of customers who want to start a small business to buy at CK Rahim, as the offer is reasonable and affordable price for the retailers. Equilibrium condition in short run and long run. First, equilibrium condition in short run. In certain circumstances, the firm will decide to shut down and not produce anything at all. A shutdown refers to a short-run decision not to produce anything during a specific period of time because of current market conditions. If the firm shuts down, it loses all revenue from the sale of its product. At the same time, it saves the variable cost of making its product. But they still have to pay the fixed cost. The firm shuts down if the revenue that it would earn from producing is less than its variable cost production. There are 3 shutdown rules. The first one is the firm shuts down if the total revenue is less than variable cost. The second one is total revenue divided by quantity, which is average revenue, is less than average variable cost, which is variable cost over quantity. The last shutdown rule is the price of the good is less than the average variable cost of production. If the price doesn't cover the average variable cost, the firm is better off stopping production altogether. So, here is the competitive firm's short-run supply curve. We can clearly observe this supply curve. The second equilibrium condition is in long run. A firm's long-run decision to exit the market is similar to its shutdown decision. If the firm exits, it will again lose all the revenue from the sale of its product, but now it will not save not only its variable cost of production, but also its fixed costs. The firm exits the market if the revenue it will get from producing is less than its total cost. There are 4 exit and enter rules. Firstly, the firm exits if total revenue is less than total cost. The second rule is when the price of its good is less than the average total cost of production. The next rule is when average revenue is less than average total cost. Lastly, the firm enter a market if starting a firm would be profitable, which occurs if the price of goods exceeds the average total cost of production. This is the competitive firm's long-run supply curve. As we can see, the firm enter a market if the price of goods exceeds the average total of cost of production and will exit the market if the price is less than average total cost of production. That's all from us. Thank you.